What's up, everybody? Back for another Honkai Star Rail video, and with the very close arrival of 3.1, we are going to go over 5 things that I personally would like to see in Honkai Star Rail in the future. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm not going to lie, 3.1 is looking kind of rough. Like, it's looking like a absolute filler dead patch. We're not really getting too many quality of life updates. We're not really getting anything really new. We are getting a new version of the Divergent universe, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not really like a huge, it's just like a few extra things added to it. We get rewards, which is nice, but it's not something like a whole new like end game or anything. I know some people will be like, oh my god, Divergent universe is huge, this is not a filler patch. What else is there besides that, right? Like, let's be real, right? It is 100% a filler patch before anniversary, right? Now, I'm not saying anniversary is going to be like this crazy insane patch, because you just never know, right? We can't say until we see it. But these are 5 things I want to see. Will it be before 4.0? Hopefully, cross my fingers. I doubt it, but I mean, hey, we can pray, right? But anyway, before we get into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what are some stuff in Honkai Star Rail that you would like to see, whether it be from other Hoyo games, other games in general, maybe not even any gacha game, it's just something completely different. Let me know in the comments, and let's get into it. So first things first, the reason we are even on this screen to begin with is the models. Now, if you look at this guy right here, the male MC, Kalis, is a very Hoyo-ass model, I'm not gonna lie. When we run around and we look at the other characters, they are some Hoyoverse looking characters. They all kind of look the same. They're basically the same model on, mix and match your costume like you're playing Roblox, right? And now, I know you could probably say that about a lot of gacha games, but there's not a lot of variety, right? Most of the characters don't really have anything to distinguish them besides, what hair they're rocking and their outfit. Like, they've been a little bit better with, like, My Day and whatnot, because they actually have muscles and whatnot. So I'll give them props, but their expressions are pretty much just, this. By the way, if you didn't know, there's actually a camera mode. There's not a lot of expression going on. Like, his eyes move, but there's no expressions happening. And what really sucks about this is when there's cutscenes and someone gets shanked, or like they're shot or whatever the heck, and they just go, and that's it, right? I need some like anime ass, like, okay, if you haven't seen JoJo, I don't want to say too much, or like part 2 in JoJo, like with the Caesar scene, right? I need something like that. I'm invested if the characters seem more alive, like, and I feel like the story is at a low point, unfortunately, by a lot of people. A lot of people don't really care. I mean, there's like black screens with text on it. I think that if we could get some stuff kind of like ZZZ, right? Because I am a huge ZZ hater. I did not like the combat whatsoever, but the game looks so lively that I actually still like, not play, but I log in and still like somewhat care about it, because the animation and the characters feel so alive compared to the other video games that I've played. And I'm telling you, Star Rail would benefit so greatly from some of that. Like, when if Don Hank gets like hurt or whatever in the MC, instead of just like there's cutscenes that look good, right? Like, I was rewatching the Yunli trailer and that looked good. Can we get the actual game to look more like that? There's a couple cutscenes that cut away and play like a scene for like a minute or so, like Yanqing versus Hule. That looks good. Can we please? I know I'm asking too much for a multi-billion-dollar company. Can we please make all the game cutscenes look maybe not that much like style, but at least the expression, right? Because it really hurts when we're rocking this for all the cutscenes. It's like, I don't like you. Oh, they said something that was cool. Oh yeah, wow, that's neat. It's like, my boy is in Photoshop. They go to his eyes right here and they squint it down a little bit and call it a day. Like, I don't know, bricks the immersion for me, right? That is a big gripe I have, because I see so many people talking about story, right? Second thing, now this thing is something that was actually added to Wuthering Waves rather recently, and that is, please, for the love of God, give us weapon, or not weapon, sorry, give us relic loadouts. There are so many characters who need to be speed tuned. Sunday right here is 160 speed, right? I have enough speed to have 160 speed Sunday, and that works for some builds. Other builds, I want to have Sunday be 1 speed less than DPS. For example, when I use Jing Yun, my Sunday has 136 speed. He is 1 speed slower, so I can use the Jing Yun skill and then use the Sunday skill, and I don't lose any, time in between them, right? If I had them at different speeds, something like Apocalypse Shadow, I'd lose more points, stuff like that, right? Where it's important to speed tune. Why do we not have loadouts? Because now I have to go through my relics and find what the hell those pieces were, move them off other people. Like, can I just have a loadout to where if I want to use a team, I go, okay, these are the 4 characters on the team, right? When I want to use this team, they will all have this loadout, set team, then apply team, and then all right, I have the team, right? Then I go into MOC, I click like right here, I click this, right? And then it's just like, preset lineup like this, right? Ignore like the random teams. I click team 8 right here, enabled, click on it, boom, and then bam, they all have their light cones, their relic sets, they're in their proper order because positioning does matter for certain teams and certain characters, and then we're good to go. We hit boom, memory cast, we're in, and I don't have to worry about going like this and then going to character details. Does Herta have all her stuff? Does Serval have her stuff? Does RMC have their stuff? Does Akron have her stuff? Like, it's just an annoyance, and I feel like, how many years do the people who play the Hoyo games have to complain about loadouts before we get them? Like, is it really that big of a deal? I guess it's like less grinding, and they might use currency to refresh for it or something, but I don't know, man. Kind of weird. It's just weird. I really don't understand it, bro. I can only think of it as, if we make them be comfortable with having loadouts, they'll farm less and they might not buy jades to refresh. But like, I don't know. There's some people do reset and top up to get more stamina. I get that there are people out there, but bro, they cannot be looking at that and be like, oh my god, we lost $10 because Jimmy's using the new loadout system and not grinding up a new set for a character. There's no way. Like, why haven't we gotten it? Like, it's actually so fucking weird to me. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Right? But please add that. There's so many times I've gone into a fight and I'm like, damn, my Venturine's not tanking, and bro's missing like 3 relics, right? Or, oh, this character's not the right speed because I forgot to switch it, and just come on, bro. It can't be that hard to code, man. I'm not a game maker, but it can't be that hard to code, I swear. Like, someone in the comments, if you code, tell me how hard it is to make that, bro. It can't be that bad. Anyway, that is one thing that I would like to add. Now, going into the next thing, funny enough, on this page is more endgame modes, right? Now, I know people are like, oh my gosh, we already have MOC, Pure Fiction, Apocalypse Shadow. Those are fine, right? Stuff like this. Do you remember how we had a Forgotten Hall for Jarlo and Xianshou? Where's the Penacony one, right? Now, granted, this one's only 6 stages and this one is 15. Add more stages to this one and go up to like 10. Maybe do the Penacony one where we have like, I believe, yeah, look, this gave a ton of Stellar Jades. Does this one give 200 each too? Like, look at this. This is so much currency. They could even cut it in half, right? They can give us 100 if they really want to. But expanding upon this and having it only be, Bellabog enemies, only Penacony enemies, and it's just like clear whenever the rewards are always there would be cool. More endgame modes that, I know I'm gonna sound like a hater, that aren't the stupid ass simulated universe. Please get me the hell out of there, man. I hate that place. Anything else, bro? I am trying to use my characters. I'm not trying to use some dumbass gimmick every single time where, oh, you have to level up your weapons. Oh, you have to get like the pass stuff, bro. Let me use my characters without like this massive inflation of, oh, I hope you got the right buffs. I know some people like that, bro. But when I summon for a character and build them, I'm not thinking in my head, wow, this character would be so amazing if I had these 7 things that make it to where they follow up attack infinitely until I kill the enemy. I'm thinking, oh, with their base kit and this character's base kit, we're good to go. The simulated universe is like, whatever, it's just a grindy thing. It's its welcome, bro. Just give us more modes with the actual just base characters like this. This would be perfect. why, like, actually, why haven't we gotten an update? Like, they had to have forgotten this is a thing. You see it every time you go into MOC, and this is just sitting here. It's just called memory, right? This memory of chaos is just memory. Can we get more memory stages, right? Now, another cool thing that if we got a similar version of this for Apocalyptic Shadow, where you get to refight the boss, kind of like the weeklies, but they are stronger versions of the boss. Maybe you can make them even really hard, and if you beat them, you get like, I don't know, 1,000 jades or something like that. Or maybe you get, I don't know, some fragile resins or whatever it may be, right? Whatever they want to do, it is what it is. They'll figure it out. That's on them. But that'd be kind of cool to have an Apocalypse Shadow version of this. Or I don't know how they would do Pure Fiction, but just having kind of the end game modes, but have like a permanent content version of them would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. What they should do. Should they add a rotating game mode again, having a fourth one, or should they add stuff like these two? Right now, another thing, funny enough, that we can also talk about on this screen is more enemies. Right. We fought this beetle. Like, I swear, like, Star Wars doesn't have that many enemies, man. We fought the beetle like a million times. This guy's new, so it gets a pass, right? MOC 11. Adventuring. I mean, you know, he's here and there, right? This guy, I swear, has been in every single endgame mode since the dawn of his existence. Bro, get him out, please. I understand. Rappa, Glaze, all that, please. Just leave me alone. Hule gets a pass. He hasn't been in that much because he's rather new, right? Same with this guy. I think this is his first time showing up, right? This one right here. This is a new enemy. Gets a pass. This guy, I feel like I've seen a million times. But I mean, hey, he's kind of just an elite enemy. What it is, what it is. You get the gist, right? Having a bunch of new enemies added. Now, I mentioned this before, but having a patch where we just add a bunch of new enemies would be chef's kiss. Beautiful, right? And one event that comes to mind that would benefit greatly from having a big update is, let's go over to the travel log, is this event right here. In the Luminary War Dance, you end up fighting Topaz and Boot Hill. However, since they aren't actually enemies you can fight, because you fight Argenti in this, and since Argenti is a boss, you actually fight Argenti, right? You fight Savarog in this event. Savarog is actually a boss, so you can fight him. You fight Yanqing in this event. Yanqing is actually a boss, so you actually fight Yanqing. Topaz and Boot Hill, they aren't a boss, so you don't fight them. And it's hella immersion break. They do like, oh, Luca is hallucinating Bronya and it's Cocolia instead, because, you know, that's, I guess, somewhat similar. Or did I say Bronya? Anyway, Topaz and Cocolia, there we go. Brain fart. Anyway. And then another one is when you fight Boot Hill. Oh, he's so scared he thinks of death, and you fight the Memory Zone meme. Like, I get it, right? You know, I don't know if they don't have enough time for that, or like I don't want to say they're lazy, but it would be cool if we actually introduced a Topaz fight or introduced a Boot Hill fight for that, right? I feel like having a big update with just a bunch of bosses and some new enemies would be very helpful, so it doesn't feel like we're getting regurgitated the same weekly bosses / story bosses over and over and over and over. I don't know if that's really feasible for them. Maybe after, you know, a year or so of this game being out, we'll just have enough to where it wouldn't feel like we're fighting the same thing every time. But I don't know. I feel like most of the time when I open up end game mode, I go, oh, this guy again. And I just feel like it's because they just spam the same one over and over. And they're like, all right, we spammed them 10 times in a row. New enemy, let's spam this guy 10 times in a row. And I was like, okay, maybe we fight like, you know, when's the last time we fought Japard? Like, actually. Have we fought Japard in an MOC 12 or an Apocalyptic Shadow or anything like that? Like, he's been there with Cocolia. But when was the last time Japard's been in one? Because I actually don't remember. Let me know in the comments if it was like, you know, last MOC 11 or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like we just never see older enemies, and just having a big selection of new characters would be very healthy for the game, right? Who they would be, besides Boot Hill and like Topaz, I really don't know. Maybe like Jade, or like Yunli, because Yunli actually spars with Yanqing, would make sense. Maybe like a March 7th Swordmaster, because they're sparring with her. Hard to really say. We do have a... Do we? No, we fight Fei Zhao in the story at like one point, so we already have a Fei Zhao enemy that I don't think they've ever used. Like I don't even think we fought the boss one besides the weekly, so maybe they can do something like that. But yeah, that would be a pretty good thing to add. Lastly, right, this would be number 4, right? Because we talked about character model expressions, we talked about loadouts, we talked about new in-game modes, and we talked about new character enemies. Now, last but not least, if I'm not forgetting, I'm actually blanking on what I was gonna. Oh my gosh, do I actually have to cut and go check my notes? Oh my gosh. All right, this is future ZDB. ZDB that has recollected his thoughts and remembered what the hell he's gonna talk about. I'm not gonna lie, talking about the characters sidetracked me so hard, bro. I was just thinking of new enemies to fight. I was like, yo, who would be like a cool ass boss fight? Yo, if we could fight Luca himself, that'd be sick. And then, bro, it just lost me there. It just lost me. I had to like tab out, find my notes where I wrote it down, right, to myself to make a video. This one's gonna sound like a broken record. I know we talked about game variety, but another thing about game variety is characters you use. Please, I know they're buffing characters, but please, I cannot preach this enough. New 4 stars would be so nice. They don't have to be as good as 5 stars, but just having more variety to use these 4 stars in the various modes that they would potentially make that I mentioned would be pretty cool. They could have new effects before the 5 stars do. So we could have, let's imagine, so we have true damage and super break are introduced on the MC. Maybe we have a 4 star that has a new mechanic that like makes the enemy come to your side, like hypnotize them, and the enemy attacks them, right? Maybe it's not too broken, but you find some use, you have some more fun. Having more gameplay mechanics for yourself, right? But I feel like they're doing a pretty decent job of adding new mechanics. We have like summons, we have true damage, super break, you know, the whole Rappa like energy. I forgot what it's called. I'm trying to think of the name. What she has for like enhanced basic attack like mode is pretty cool. They haven't done anything with the Donhang skill points in a while, but I feel like they're doing a pretty good job of game mechanics, but having a more variety of them and not just feels like the same few teams. They're doing a little bit better. Obviously, balance wise is a bit rough for some teams, but having more variety, I feel like would be a breath of fresh air. Now, this one is actually probably the most uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Probable to happen, just because they like to spit out a bunch of new characters, and if they all have a little bit of a different play style, then this would be fine. Whether they're going to be 4 star and easily accessible, I don't know yet. Probably not, because how many 4 stars we've gotten recently. But just having more variety and more freedom to use different characters together would be pretty nice. Obviously, a lot of people can use Robin with whoever, run May with whoever, but having more freedom to do fun new things. I'm going to take a book at a Genshin's note where you can run a bunch of different variations of different teams. Obviously, the game's been out way longer, but I would like Starworld to get to a point where if you want to run a somewhat weird team, it still can somewhat synergize based off what you pick. Pretty cool. Teams on Starworld, I feel like, are a lot more strict because we have a lot less options that would actually work to get you a passable score. So I just want them to work on that and be a little bit better at that. Let me know what you guys think of these things in the comments. Is there any of them that you're like, whatever, that's stupid, I don't really care, they need to focus on other stuff? Are there other things that you agree with that you want to, have them be more, focused on, like new endgame modes, more content, all that kind of good stuff? But other than that, that'll be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will catch y'all on the next one, hopefully for my first multi-tribby summons. Please cross my fingers. John Hoyo, if you're listening out there, please bless my pulls.